What's going on, people? This is LBThaRealist with Surrealistic Studios once again in my vehicle. God damn, it's been hot out here. It's San Diego, California. It's not supposed to be this damn hot, but it's been hot. It cooled down today. It actually started sprinkling a little bit, but it's been hot as hell. I was dealing with 100 and some degree weather yesterday and the day before, just sweating in every crack and crack, just sweating, just uncomfortable weather where you just sweaty and sticky and hot and frustrated and irritated, and you snapping on patients because you told them not to park their damn car right there in front of the other business, and that's gonna get y'all messed up. I'm going on a tangent, but it's literally been hot. I don't know if that's just, it can't be regular. It has to be global warming. It has to be. We feeling the effects in San Diego. We don't never feel the effects in San Diego. Whenever Bakersfield, California is like 100 and some degrees, and Las Vegas, Nevada is like 100 and some degrees in the shade, we're sitting at like a comfortable 87. San Diego people are spoiled, and if you're from San Diego, you know exactly what I'm talking about. We are spoiled. When it hits like 89, we start crying. We're like, this is too much. This is too much. And people in Las Vegas and Bakersfield and every other hot place are just looking at us and shaking their head like, these pansies over here. I'm serious. It's been a struggle, y'all. That's why I'm just in a t-shirt right now. I ain't trying to mess with the bullshit. But aside from it being hot as hell, as far as the weather, y'all, it's hot as hell because of the police out here. What is going on? I remember maybe 6-7 years ago, I was just joking around, talking to my mom one day. We were driving down on the freeway, and we actually seen a cop pull over an old white lady. And I remember I made the joke like, look, Ma, look, they're pulling over old white women. They really don't care anymore. They literally do not give a fuck. And look at what we have here. I mean, after all the stories about, Philando Castile and Mike Brown and, even back to Trayvon Martin, like, we all knew that black people would get gunned down in the streets, and then we hear, like, some off stories about a couple of white guys getting killed, a couple of old ladies being tasered with metal walkers, and then now we got this story coming out, actually happened back in June or July. This lady by the name of Alex Wubble, she's a nurse. They got into a confrontation with a detective in, I believe, Salt Lake City, Utah. She seems like a pretty nice, lady, and she's, just for the sake of argument, she's white. And this cop, basically, there was an accident, and this guy ended up in the burn unit. She was taking care of him. She's a burn victim nurse. And the cop, or the detective, his name is Detective Payne, coincidentally. Payne, because he brings the pain. He wanted to get a blood sample from this victim that was sitting in the burn unit. And the thing with that is, you have to either have a warrant, this person has to be under arrest, or they have to give you consent to have their blood drawn. Neither of those was the case, and the nurse told the detective that calmly, politely, and logically. She even called her supervisor and had him explain it to the detective over the phone. And the detective's response was, so you're telling me you're not going to grant me this? Basically, in my own words, basically, and then he just arrested her. He just arrested her after that. Where technically, he didn't arrest her. He put her in handcuffs and I think put her in the back of the patrol car. But check this out. She was never charged with any crime. I wonder why that is, LB. Because she never committed any crime. Like I said, there's 3 reasons or 3 situations which would allow an officer or a detective to gather blood from the victim. Is if you have a warrant, if the victim is under arrest, or if there's consent given. And there was none of those. The nurse tried to calmly explain that to the detective. When the detective found out that he wasn't going to get his way, and he found out that basically she was going to follow the law, whereas he wanted to break the law, he decided to get all rowdy and try to reach for her and grab at her and put her arms behind her back and treated her like a common fucking criminal. Treated her like a common fucking criminal. Not arrested. She didn't break any laws or anything like that. By the way, this detective is still on active duty. Paid active duty. Even though the mayor and the police chief came out and denounced his actions. They came out in a press conference and denounced his actions, said that it was unnecessary, and basically said that he was in the wrong for doing what he did. It was an unlawful arrest. That's their own words. It was an unlawful arrest. Yet, he's still in the field, being paid. Mind you, this only came to light because the video surfaced on social media that made it to mainstream media. It's the only reason they give a shit. But there was no lawful arrest made. This man literally broke the law, not once, but multiple times. 2 times that I know of. He broke the law where he didn't exactly break the law because he didn't get the blood, but he tried to break the law. So he couldn't break the law that way. Excuse me. He didn't break the law that way. He tried to break the law that way. When he found out he couldn't break the law that way because the nurse wasn't going to allow him to, the nurse wasn't going to allow him to break the law and put that hospital's reputation in jeopardy, he decided to take matters into his own hands and try to arrest that nurse, that innocent woman. She was innocent. She was doing the right thing. She was protecting that victim. She was protecting herself. She was protecting that hospital. She did exactly what the fuck she was supposed to do. That officer was the criminal. He did exactly what a criminal does. And that's break the law. Making unlawful arrests, trying to get a hospital and a nurse to break the law for him because he thinks that he's above the law. And that's an issue that we have with some police officers. And I will say a good portion of them, because we saw cops there on the scene that allowed it to happen. So not only do we have a problem with corrupt cops and detectives, well, we got a problem with their peers that allow them to do the corruption in the first place. How are you a good cop, but you're not saying anything when this shit happens? Fuck that shit. Excuse my language. I'm not monetizing my videos. I don't give a fuck about that. When you come on my videos, I want you to get straight to my video. Fuck the skip button and the waiting the 5 seconds. And sometimes you gotta wait the whole 15, 20 seconds for that bullshit ass commercial. And sometimes it be a good commercial because sometimes it's about a good ass movie that's coming out that you really want to see and you wish you could see, but you don't want to spend the money on the movie theater. But you'll probably go online to one of them sites to watch it for free anyways. But still, this is unacceptable. This is totally unacceptable. And forgive me, but being who I am and being, having my background, I just can't help but to wonder what would happen if maybe she wasn't a middle-aged white woman. Maybe she was a middle-aged black woman or a middle-aged Latina woman. I wonder how that would have played out. I wonder if that would have been exponentially worse off for that individual. I wonder if that individual would have been actually taken to jail. I wonder if that individual would have been tased. I just wonder. I wonder. And I know some of you are going to hate that. You're going to be like, why are you bringing race into this? It's not about that. And truly, it's not. It's about American imperialism. And it's about a corrupt corrupt policing system and environment that breeds this kind of activity and nonsense. We literally operate in a system that rewards police officers for this kind of behavior. He's on active duty, still being paid. No punishment. Most of these cops never get indicted. This is ridiculous. It's beyond ridiculous. I can't say it's unbelievable because it's very believable. I just told you the story of, years ago how I made the joke about the old white lady getting tased with a metal walker. And they were pulling over old white. Like, it's not unfathomable. Like, these things happen. It's not just police against minorities. It's just exactly as St. Progressive said. It's the inside versus the out. And the insiders get the fucking police officers, and they get, the detectives and all of these private security guards and all of these fucktards that go out and beat the heads in of peaceful protesters and nurses just trying to do their fucking jobs. Oh yeah, and black people that just want to go home to their fucking family, just like the police officers get to do. Every single day. We don't have guns. We don't have bulletproof vests. We don't have a squad of people we can call on a radio with a ghetto bird in the sky, with squad cars and SUVs and shotguns sitting right here next to the fucking steering wheel. We don't have that. We got each other. And sometimes that's not even enough, because when somebody gets fucked with, we're so frightened, we are so afraid and scared that we don't want to get involved either. And that is the sad reality of the situation that we live in, is that when we see somebody being brutalized out in the street by a fucking person with a badge, we let that shit go. Why? Because he has a fucking badge and a gun. And yet this person is being killed. People are being slaughtered in the streets every single day. It's worse than this nurse being, almost arrested. People are literally being killed. People are losing children out here. Literal babies. It's crazy, y'all. Like, I just gotta wonder who's it gonna be next, Like, is it gonna be me next? Will the world stop for me? Until next time, y'all, I gotta get up out of here. It's too fucking hot, and this shit got me too fucking emotional. But you guys feel my point on this. This is just, we literally have to start standing up for each other. As the people, as the citizens, we have to start standing up with each other. We have to say enough is enough. If you fuck with one of us, you fuck with all of us. On a real tip, we can't be afraid anymore. We cannot sit in fear. We cannot be frozen. We cannot be immobile. We cannot be silent anymore about this shit. I don't like making videos like this because it's just me yelling at a camera and it's too much emotion and not enough fact. But for a person like me, sometimes this shit can be a little overwhelming to just keep it on a political level. I get kind of revolutionary and rebellious, but that's the reality that we live in. I mean, I'm a realist. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? But just because it is what it is, it doesn't mean that that's the way that it always has to be. And that's what makes me a little bit of an optimist, okay? With all that being said, please stand up for your fellow neighbor. If you see something, say something. If you see a police officer harassing somebody, film it. Call another squad car out there. Call somebody else. Like, help each other. Instead of calling the police on somebody for stupid shit and possibly getting somebody shot, just try to handle it yourself in a peaceful manner. If you feel like you can't handle it, don't put yourself in danger. All I'm saying is, think. And for our police officers and for our detectives out there, if you're a good person, if you're a good police officer, a good detective, you feel as though that's you, then you need to start speaking out. Stop speaking out in silence. Speak out in front of everybody so that we know exactly who you are, so that the corrupt police officers and detectives know exactly who you are. And we will have your back 100% of the way. But you have to let it be known. We can't allow this shit to happen. You cannot be silent on these matters anymore. Fuck the job. If your job is to beat the heads of peaceful protesters and to arrest nurses just trying to do their jobs and to kill and hurt black and brown people simply because they're darker than you, get a new fucking job. Because you're sacrificing your soul. And that's not something to be proud of. That's not something to be proud of. You're in the wrong fucking profession, bro. Ma'am. Until the next story, y'all. Please remember to love from your hearts. Love the next individual. Even if you don't know this motherfucker, love him. Peace. Always peace. Peace. I don't say this shit for my help. I say it because I mean it. Love from your heart. Love the next person. Peace. Spread peace and joy around the world. Let it be infectious. Let it infect the next person like a fucking positive virus, and let him spread peace and love and chicken grease to the next person and to the next individual, and so on and so forth. Man, we got to stop hating each other. We got to stop hurting each other. And we got to start loving each other. All right? With all that being said, Until next time, follow me on all social media. Stay tuned for the next video. Peace.